The film begins in China, 2009. It's about a dad named Li who lives with his daughter Chii. Chi's mom died 7 years ago, so Li has been raising her by himself. Today is Chi's birthday, and Li let her go out and play with her friends as a gift. Soon after, he went to work at a construction site. In the evening, it started raining. Chii asked if she could go home by herself because Li was still at work. When she got to the last bus stop, Chii decided to walk home alone, not knowing a minibus was following her. When Li got home, he thought Chii was already there. But he was shocked to find out she hadn't come home yet. Li started calling his friends and searching everywhere to find his daughter. The next morning, the body of a teenage girl was found in the river. A police officer named Liang Jun was given the job to handle the case. He and his team started looking for reports of missing people. Soon after, Li came to the police station to report his missing daughter, Chii. Li couldn't believe it, but when he saw the body, he cried uncontrollably. It was Chii, the daughter he loved so much. When asked how Chii died, Liang Jun said they needed to do a forensic exam first. He told Li to go home and wait for more news. The next morning, Li was outside the police station, waiting for the results. He waited for more than 24 hours, but Liang Jun didn't come out to talk to him. Then, another officer named Wang came and told Li that the forensic team found bruises on Chi's hands and feet, and there were signs that she had been hurt by someone. This meant that before she died, Chii had been harmed. Instead of telling Li right away, Liang Jun decided to keep the information secret for a while to keep Li calm and wait for a better time to tell him. The next night, Liang Jun's team got CCTV footage from the train station showing a white minibus that looked suspicious. Soon after, Liang Jun and his team tracked the car's number plate and found out it belonged to a man named Zhang. When 2 policemen arrived at Zhang's place, he found Chi's cell phone that had been left behind. At that time, Zhang quickly took the cell phone and went to his room. It was revealed that on the night of the incident, Zhang, who was the driver, was with 2 other suspects looking for someone around the station. They saw Chii walking alone and decided to take her by making her unconscious with a drug. While Chii was still unconscious, they took her to their hideout. Their plan was to make videos to sell to collectors. Zhang didn't want to take part in this. His father asked him to bring the car home, and Zhang had never intended to be involved, and he was forced to be their driver. Turns out, Zhang wasn't actually friends with the suspects, but was bullied into helping them. When Zhang was about to leave, one of the suspects, Zhou, threatened him not to tell the police. So Zhang, who was scared, didn't have any other choice but to let them do what they wanted. The next day, Zhang was bullied by Zhou and the other suspect, Zihan, when he suggested going to the police. There, Zhang felt helpless and could only give in when Zhou threatened to harm him and his family. However, since he can't bear the guilt, Zhang decided to use Chi's cell phone to send a message to Li with the names of the 2 suspects and their hideout address. After received that, Li immediately went to that address. When Li arrived, he found the key to the door and entered. Soon after, Zihan, one of the suspects, returned. There, Li found his daughter's bag, and then saw Zihan playing a video of them hurting Chii. Filled with anger, Li attacked Zihan. Although Zihan overpowered Li at first, Li saw Chi's face in the video, which gave him the strength to fight back. He hit Zihan on the head many times with a baseball bat. Soon after, Li took a flash drive with the video evidence and tore up a photo of Zhou's face before running away, determined to take revenge. After Li left, Liang Jun and his team arrived, responding to a report about Zihan's body being found in a terrible condition. At that time, Liang Jun quickly guessed that the person responsible was a father seeking justice for his lost daughter. Since Zihan died, Liang Jun quickly tracked down and arrested Zhang, who was known to be close to the 2 suspects. They took Zhang to the police station for questioning. That night, Zhang was back home after being declared innocent due to lack of evidence, but his parents, especially his father, scolded him severely. And Zhang, who had been annoyed for a long time, suddenly shouted back at his father. He felt frustrated because his father didn't believe him despite being found innocent. Zhang was very upset because his father kept blaming and doubting him. There, he defended himself strongly, expressing his disappointment. His father was surprised by Zhang's reaction, as he usually didn't fight back, but Zhang couldn't stand the unfair treatment anymore. Meanwhile, at the police station, a rich husband and wife arrived after a call from Liang Jun. They were the parents of Zhou, who was currently missing. Instead of feeling ashamed or guilty for their child's behavior, Zhou's parents wanted to give money to the victim's parents to keep them quiet. It turned out Chii, she was not the first victim of Zhou and his friends, and there were other girls who had also suffered. At that moment, one of the victim's parents, whose daughter had been deeply affected by the incident, attacked Zhou's parents. There, the father was crying, feeling helpless. Liang Jun sympathized with him and tried to calm him down. Unlike the victim's father, Li went to a residential area on the outskirts of the city to find a temporary place to live. He decided to rent a room from a woman landlord who gave him a shabby room that was rarely used. Despite the poor conditions, Li only wanted to find the last suspect, Zhou. With a flash drive containing videos of the suspects, he found a video showing Zhou on a motorbike, including the name of a repair shop he often visited. Without any preparation, Li went straight to the workshop with a photo of Zhou. One of the workshop employees threw peanut shells at Li, but he ignored it and went to meet the owner. There, Li found a CD labeled Train Station High School Video, confirming the owner was a collector of inappropriate videos Zhou sold. Without hesitation, Li attacked and killed both the owner and the employee. Before killing the owner, Li managed to get information about Zhou's secret hideout in an old hotel. Soon after, Li took a firearm with 2 remaining bullets from the workshop. At the same time, the woman who rented the house to Li saw news about a man seeking revenge for his daughter's death. Recognizing Li from the news, she realized he was the person renting her house. That night, when Li returned, the woman asked him to leave because the police were searching the area. However, seeing Li's sad face, she felt sorry for him and allowed him to stay in the room. As the police were tracking down Zhou's hiding place, Li found the old hotel where Zhou was staying. Because the area was already guarded by many police, the woman who owned the rental house, and who had a daughter herself, offered to help Li find a safe place. Since the main road was blocked by a landslide, Li decided to take a shortcut through the forest. At the same time, Liang Jun and his team arrived at the hotel and started searching. They found a girl being held captive by Zhou. She was too scared to leave because he had threatened to release a video if she tried to escape or reported him to the police. Even though Liang Jun offered her protection, she was too frightened to trust them. Not long after, Zhou arrived on his motorbike just as Li reached the location. Before entering, Zhou called the girl to check if it was safe. Instead of helping the police, the girl yelled at Zhou to leave immediately. There, Zhou tried to escape on his motorbike, but Li shot at him, causing Zhou to crash and run into the forest. Liang Jun and his team then focused on chasing Li instead of Zhou, allowing Zhou to escape. This mistake meant that their plan to catch Zhou failed. Long story short, one night, Zhang, who was with the police, got a call from Zhou, who had run out of money. At that time, Zhou asked Zhang to bring him some money at the train station. Zhou came from a very rich family, and Zhang worried that Zhou could use his wealth to get a lighter sentence, or even avoid charges altogether. To avoid the risk of Zhou escaping the law and bullying him again, Zhang told Li about the planned police raid, hoping Li could stop Zhou for good. The next day, the police surrounded the train station with Zhang, telling him to stay calm and act normal. However, his nervousness was hard to hide. When Zhou arrived, he quickly realized Zhang was working with the police and tried to run away. On the other hand, Li, armed with a gun hidden in cloth, went in the opposite direction to intercept Zhou. In front of many witnesses, Li confronted Zhou, who became very scared and begged for forgiveness. Zhou promised to change and never do such bad things again, fearing the wrath of a father who had lost his child. However, Li could not forgive Zhou because Chii was gone forever. Li pulled the trigger just as the police shot at him from different directions. After the tension ended, Li was declared dead on the way to the hospital. Meanwhile, Zhou survived but was injured, with a cut on his eye from a bullet. Because of this incident, the government made a new law for serious crimes committed by young people. It says that if someone who is 12 years old or older commits a serious crime on purpose, they will be punished the same way as an adult. The film ends. The moral lesson from this film is sometimes trying to be a hero can cause more problems, so it's better to leave the action stuff to the movies. Also, never trust a rich kid with a shady motorbike.